All right, let's talk about how you can become a top-tier, high-earning AI engineer. We're going to break down the exact roadmap, the skills, the process, and the mindset that you need to get there.
Okay, let's just put this number right out there, because it definitely gets your attention. By 2026, top tech companies are expected to be paying their elite AI engineers salaries right in this ballpark. It's an absolutely incredible opportunity. But, it requires a very specific set of skills. So, beyond that impressive salary, what's the actual job? What are you doing day to day? It's really crucial to understand that an AI engineer isn't just a machine learning scientist. First and foremost, they are a very specific kind of software engineer.
I absolutely love this analogy. Imagine you're in a professional kitchen. The software engineer, they build the main dish. That's the core application, like a website or a service. The AI engineer is the one who comes in to add that special flavoring and garnish. They integrate the intelligent models that make the dish truly extraordinary. And this right here, this gets to the most important point of all. You simply cannot be a great AI engineer without first being a solid software engineer. You have to understand the dish completely before you can even think about seasoning it. That foundation is totally non-negotiable. So to lay all of this out for you, we're going to use a 5-level pyramid. This framework is going to take you from the absolute basics all the way up to a strategic, top-notch level of expertise. Think of it as your path to earning a Michelin star in the world of AI. We'll kick things off with the essential foundation. Then we'll move into building intelligent systems. We'll tackle the challenge of scaling those systems for the real world. And finally, we'll talk about what it takes to reach that elite Michelin star level. Okay, let's dive right into this first and most crucial level of our pyramid. This is where it all begins. Before you can even dream about complex AI workflows, you have to master the software engineering fundamentals. It's just like cooking, right? You don't start with beef Wellington on day one. You start by learning how to properly hold a knife and boil water. And we can actually break this foundation down with a really simple acronym, SALT. These are the 4 key ingredients you absolutely need to master: software fluency, API architecture, lifecycle management, and your tech stack. First up, you've got S for software fluency. This just means mastering a programming language, and for AI, that language is, without a doubt, Python. Why? Because pretty much all the popular AI and machine learning libraries are built in Python. It's the essential kitchen where AI engineers do all their cooking. Next up is A for API architecture. An API is just a structured way for 2 systems to talk to each other. Think of it like a mailman. You don't just barge into a friend's house, right? You give your letter to the mailman who follows a system to deliver it. AI engineers use APIs all the time to access models and get data. And finally, we have L and T, your essential utensils and tools. L stands for Lifecycle and Version Control, which really just means mastering Git and GitHub for working with other engineers. And T is your tech stack. You've got to understand the databases, the back-end, and the front-end tools you need to build a complete application. So, once that foundation is solid, we can start moving up the pyramid. This is where we finally get to add the AI to AI engineer and learn to work with intelligent systems. Level 2 is all about using intelligence that's already been created. You're not inventing new AI models from scratch. That'd be like trying to invent a new recipe on your first day in the kitchen. No, instead, you learn the art of cooking by following proven recipes, using pre-trained models from places like Hugging Face. Now this next step is a huge leap forward in creativity. At level 3, you move beyond just using single pre-made models and you start creating your own custom multi-step AI workflows. You start making your own signature dishes. The most important technique to master here is something called RAG, which stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation. And honestly, the best way to think about RAG is to imagine giving an AI model an open book exam. Instead of just relying on what it remembers from its training, it gets to look up the answers in real time. So here's how that 3-step process actually works. First, when you ask a question, the system retrieves relevant info from a specific knowledge base, say your company's internal documents. Second, it augments the AI's prompt by adding this fresh, new context. And finally, the AI generates an answer based on that new, super relevant information. It's brilliant. So what's the magic that powers this lightning-fast retrieval? Vector databases. These are basically smart storage systems that turn your text into numbers, which we call embeddings. This lets the system search for concepts and meaning, not just exact keyword matches. It's what makes the whole RAG process so incredibly powerful. Okay, now we're making a big shift. We're going from just cooking a single dish to running the entire restaurant during a chaotic dinner rush. At this level, it's not enough for your AI to just work. It has to work at scale, reliably, for thousands, maybe millions of users.
And this, of course, requires a whole new set of tools. Docker packages your entire application, your code, your models, everything into a neat, consistent container. Kind of like how Oreos are packaged so they're the same everywhere. The cloud, using platforms like AWS or GCP, is like franchising your restaurant, making it accessible to anyone in the world. And something like Redis caching is all about efficiency. It's like a chef keeping salt right on the counter instead of running to the pantry every time.
And that brings us to the very top of the pyramid, Level 5, Strategic AI Operations, or as it's often called, LLM Ops. At this point, you're not just cooking in the kitchen anymore. You are the restaurant owner, looking at the entire business from 30,000 feet.
This level demands a business mindset. You use evaluation frameworks. They're like your food critics, constantly checking your AI's outputs for quality and consistency. You use analytics tools to see how users are interacting with your system, just like knowing which dishes are popular and why customers keep coming back. And cost governance is huge. It's about deciding when to use a powerful, expensive AI model versus a cheaper one. It's just like a chef deciding when to use premium ingredients.
So as you can see, becoming a top AI engineer is a whole journey. It starts with those deep fundamentals of software engineering, moves into building truly intelligent systems, and it all culminates in having the strategic oversight you need to run them at a massive scale. You now have the full roadmap, the entire recipe book from start to finish. So the only question left is, what amazing dish are you going to create first?